Alaska State Troopers, Season 9, Episode 4. Make Yourself Known, Detailed Summary. The fourth episode of Alaska State Troopers, Season 9, titled Make Yourself Known, follows Alaska's law enforcement officers through another demanding series of missions across one of the harshest and most isolated environments in North America. From the forests of the Matanuska-Susitna Valley to the streets of Fairbanks and the remote coastline near Nome, troopers face a combination of dangerous suspects, narcotics investigations, warrant operations, and wilderness rescues. The episode demonstrates that policing Alaska requires far more than enforcing the law. It demands patience, tactical discipline, and the ability to adapt to rapidly changing conditions where backup may be hours away. Cameras follow three major operations: a foot pursuit that leads to the arrest of a suspected narcotics dealer in the Mat-Su region, a coordinated fugitive apprehension by the Criminal Suppression Unit in Fairbanks, and a large warrant roundup in Nome aimed at removing repeat offenders from the community. The episode opens in the rapidly growing Mat-Su Valley, one of Alaska's busiest regions. Although the area has experienced significant development over recent years, much of the landscape remains covered by dense forests, long gravel roads, and isolated properties. These conditions make it attractive to individuals hoping to evade law enforcement. Early in the shift, troopers receive intelligence about a man suspected of distributing illegal narcotics who is believed to be traveling through the area. Officers already know the suspect has previous encounters with law enforcement and may attempt to flee if confronted. Instead of rushing into an immediate arrest, investigators spend time confirming the suspect's movements. Patrol units quietly monitor locations the individual is known to visit while detectives coordinate information gathered from previous investigations. Dispatch keeps every unit informed as new sightings come in. The operation highlights how successful police work often depends on preparation and surveillance rather than dramatic confrontations. Eventually, a patrol unit spots the suspect walking near a residential area. As officers approach and identify themselves, the man immediately turns and runs toward nearby woods. Troopers react instantly, giving chase while repeatedly ordering him to stop. The suspect ignores every command and disappears into the thick forest, forcing officers into a difficult foot pursuit across uneven terrain. Running through Alaska's wilderness presents unique dangers for both officers and suspects. Fallen trees, muddy trails, dense brush, and hidden streams reduce visibility while increasing the risk of injury. Troopers avoid blindly charging through the woods, instead maintaining communication with one another to coordinate their search. Additional units move into position around the area, creating a containment perimeter designed to prevent the suspect from escaping. As the pursuit continues, officers discover fresh footprints in soft ground and broken branches indicating the suspect's direction of travel. Every clue helps narrow the search area. Experienced troopers understand that individuals fleeing on foot often become exhausted after running through dense forest, especially when trying to avoid detection. Rather than allowing frustration to dictate their actions, officers methodically tighten the search area while maintaining officer safety. Several minutes later, one trooper notices movement behind thick vegetation. The suspect is hiding beneath low branches, hoping the officers will pass without noticing him. Troopers calmly issue verbal commands, instructing him to show his hands and surrender peacefully. Realizing there is no practical escape route, the suspect complies and is taken into custody without injury. A search conducted following the arrest allegedly uncovers narcotics and related evidence supporting the ongoing investigation into drug distribution activities. Following the arrest, investigators begin documenting evidence recovered during the operation. Officers explain that even relatively small narcotics investigations can significantly impact isolated Alaskan communities where illegal drugs often contribute to theft, domestic violence, and other criminal activity. Every successful arrest not only removes dangerous substances from circulation, but also disrupts criminal networks operating across the state's remote transportation routes. The documentary then shifts north to Fairbanks, where members of the Criminal Suppression Unit prepare for another high-risk assignment. Detectives have spent weeks investigating the whereabouts of a wanted fugitive who has repeatedly avoided arrest. According to investigators, the suspect has ignored previous court orders and may attempt to flee again if given any opportunity. Because officers cannot predict how the individual will respond, they carefully develop an arrest plan before making contact. Early in the morning, surveillance teams quietly position themselves around a residence connected to the fugitive. Officers monitor entrances and exits while confirming the suspect's presence inside. The operation remains calm and organized, with every participant understanding their specific responsibilities. Supervisors emphasize that controlling the environment before making contact greatly increases the likelihood of a peaceful resolution. When investigators determine the timing is appropriate, officers move toward the residence and loudly announce themselves. Almost immediately, the suspect attempts to escape through a rear exit after realizing law enforcement has surrounded the property. Waiting officers intercept the fleeing individual before a lengthy chase can develop. Although the suspect initially resists arrest, coordinated teamwork allows troopers to safely take the individual into custody without serious injuries to either officers or the fugitive. Following the arrest, investigators transport the fugitive to jail where outstanding warrants and additional charges related to resisting law enforcement are addressed. Officers explain that locating long-term fugitives often requires weeks of surveillance, intelligence gathering, and cooperation among multiple agencies. While the arrest itself may take only minutes, the preparation behind every successful operation represents countless hours of investigative work. The final major operation of the episode takes viewers to Nome, a remote community on Alaska's western coast accessible primarily by air and sea. Troopers there are preparing for a coordinated warrant roundup targeting individuals with outstanding arrest warrants. Because many wanted subjects have lengthy criminal histories or previous confrontations with law enforcement, officers carefully organize teams before beginning the operation. Before leaving headquarters, supervisors review every warrant individually. Officers discuss known addresses, criminal backgrounds, and potential safety concerns involving each suspect. The briefing emphasizes professionalism and restraint while reminding troopers that every individual should be given an opportunity to surrender peacefully. Teams spread throughout the community, visiting multiple residences during the course of the day. Some suspects cooperate immediately after officers identify themselves. Others require repeated verbal commands before opening their doors. In several cases, family members assist law enforcement by encouraging wanted individuals to comply peacefully rather than creating unnecessary confrontations. One arrest proves especially challenging when officers discover that a suspect is not at the listed residence. Rather than abandoning the search, investigators interview neighbors and gather updated information regarding the individual's recent movements. Patrol units continue checking locations connected to the suspect while remaining alert for any signs that the individual may attempt to leave town. Later that day, officers successfully locate the wanted person at another address. After surrounding the property and announcing their presence, troopers wait patiently for a response. Following several tense moments, the suspect exits the residence and surrenders without incident. The arrest completes another successful step in the warrant roundup, while demonstrating the importance of persistence and communication during law enforcement operations. Throughout the Nome operation, viewers see how even routine warrant service can become complicated in remote Alaska. Limited road access, severe weather, and long travel distances require officers to maximize every opportunity to locate wanted individuals. Unlike urban police departments with numerous specialized teams available, Alaska State Troopers frequently perform investigations, patrol duties, warrant service, and emergency response during the same shift. Between the episode's major investigations, the documentary also highlights the daily realities of policing Alaska. Troopers drive enormous distances across highways bordered by mountains, forests, and rivers. Dispatchers continuously coordinate resources spread across hundreds of miles, ensuring officers receive updated information while managing multiple emergencies simultaneously. Every operation depends heavily upon communication because additional assistance may be located hours away. The program also emphasizes the relationships between troopers and the communities they serve. Officers regularly interact with residents who provide valuable information during investigations. Local knowledge often becomes essential when tracking suspects through unfamiliar terrain or identifying locations connected to criminal activity. Troopers acknowledge that maintaining public trust significantly improves their ability to solve crimes while keeping isolated communities safe. As the episode approaches its conclusion, investigators review the results of the day's operations. The Matsu pursuit leads to the arrest of a suspected narcotics dealer following a tense chase through dense woodland. In Fairbanks, the Criminal Suppression Unit successfully apprehends a wanted fugitive after careful planning and coordinated surveillance. Meanwhile, Nome troopers complete a productive warrant roundup, removing several wanted individuals from the community through disciplined and professional police work. The closing moments reinforce the central message of "make yourself known." Whether pursuing suspects through thick forests, executing carefully planned fugitive operations, or conducting warrant sweeps in remote coastal communities, Alaska State Troopers must remain adaptable, patient, and prepared for anything. Every arrest requires more than courage. It depends on teamwork, intelligence gathering, careful planning, and respect for the unpredictable conditions of Alaska's vast frontier. The episode ultimately demonstrates that effective policing in America's largest state is built not on dramatic action alone, but on professionalism, persistence, and the unwavering commitment of troopers who protect communities separated by hundreds of miles of wilderness.